da da. La 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 la. 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 When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world is alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be, it's got to be a lovely day. A lovely day. Good morning, everybody. How are we feeling? Are we really understanding how lovely this day is? Are we in gratitude this morning of a lovely day? So then I want you all to join me. Lovely day, 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 lovely day. And for those who go, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, you can feel free to do that too. So let's try it. Here we go. 1, hold up. 2, you gotta get your nerve up. 3, and here we go. Hey, lovely day. Yes. A lovely day.
Lovely day, lovely day.
Oh, you sound beautiful. Sing it like you mean it.
Lovely day.
One more time. A lovely day.
Lovely day, lovely day.
I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
Lovely day.
A lovely day, lovely day. Let's go to verse 2. Hey. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, and something without warning me always seems to know the way. But then I look at you, and I know the world is alright with me. Just one look at you, it's gotta be, it's gonna be, I'm gonna make it a lovely day. Yeah.
Lovely day, lovely day.
It's already a lovely day. Oh, I feel you all. Let me hear you. A lovely day. Lovely day, lovely day. Sundays is a lovely day. It's a beautiful day to be alive. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Will you be my neighbor? Won't you be my neighbor? Would you be my neighbor? What a lovely day. Is it a lovely day? Is it a lovely day? Is it a lovely day? I know it's a lovely day. I know it's a lovely day. I know it's a lovely day. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Today is a love. Give yourselves a hand. You are just affirming the day that you're going to have. You are affirming it, and I'm with you 100%. Thank you so much, and good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And please welcome to the Pima, Reverend Dr. Keith Cox.
Good morning. I just hit my funny bone coming in there, and it doesn't feel so... Well, at least it's funny to you. It wasn't so funny to me in the moment. So I do not need to swear with this microphone on, right? It's a lovely day. It's like we were laughing, Travis and I, that when we were getting my mic set up, I was doing a little rap going on, and then I realized to him, I said, I think we're live streaming already. So they all got to hear my D to the O to the G to the do. Anyway, when we got to the D to the O to the G, it was right. Anyway, good morning. How is everyone? I'm Keith Cox, and it's my pleasure to look into your eyes and into your soul and into your life today and share this time that we're sharing together on Labor Day Sunday in the year 2019. Hard to believe it's September already, right? The summer flew by, but wasn't it a fantastic one? Yeah, so it's because it's a lovely day. It's going to be a lovely day all day today. We are a community that comes together on Sunday mornings and have now for the last 29 years and 10 months and 3 weeks and 2 days and a half of a day on Sunday morning to come together and engage in an awakening of our minds so that we find our personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, primarily through the principles of the teachings of Dr. Ernest Holmes and the teachings of the science of mind. We are a metaphysical-based community. What that means is that we look at life through the philosophy that all there is one power, and that one power can be called God, it can be called life, it can be called source, it can be called the thing itself, it can be called Darla for all it matters. It doesn't matter what you call it, but the second principle is that as audible beings and as we individualize it, the more often that we call it, the more that we awaken ourselves to it because it indwells within us through our mind and our heart and our soul and our being. And as we use our mind and our heart and our soul and our being in alignment with it, and because we live in a universe governed by spiritual law, we get to experience the very thing, that is the thing itself, in form in life and all of its qualities. And the qualities that we believe that exist within it are not limited to this, but are peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. And so we come together every Sunday morning to honor the peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom that exists within each and every one of us by fine-tuning and training our minds to think and believe along those lines so that ultimately life experience, our life experiences, reflect that on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, lifetime basis. So I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like a good way to live for me. How about you? Right? Good. So thank you for being here, and our beloved founding minister, Dr. David Walker, used to say it every Sunday morning, and we like to affirm with him that we welcome one and welcome all. So take a moment and say hello to those seated around you and to those online, whether Facebook, getting to know you and everything about you. Yes. So nothing like having a little pick-me-up in the morning of hello and love, right? Good, I love it, me too. Well, thank you for saying hello to everyone. I can feel the energy shifting in the room, and continuing on the vein of shifting energy, we're going to move into a ritual that we do every Sunday morning called Calling in the Light. And it's an opportunity for us to now take that energy, that vibrational energy that we've raised up within us, and to now turn it inward. and in so doing, become aware of the light of the divine that exists within us. This particular ritual has languaging around the light itself that we are lighting today, as well as you will hear some music that's being sung by Andy and Arnaé with some call and response. And then it will end with what's called spiritual mind treatment, or affirmative prayer. It's how we do prayer here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. So I'd like to welcome to the Bima Elizabeth Dadd, one of our fine practitioners for many, many years, to be our practitioner of the day, as well as our illuminator, who is the gentleman who certainly illuminates her life as well as ours, as well with many other talents he has, Terry Dadd.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love.
Good morning. The ritual we perform this morning is called Calling in the Light. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering today a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities we possess as complete expressions of the divine. Today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thoughts and experience, and we honor this oneness today. The first candle is lit for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. The second candle is illuminated for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle is lit for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle is lit for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness, also known as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as Terry lights the 10th candle, the healing candle, we ask you to take a moment and think of anyone you would like to silently put into the light of the healing flame so that they may experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine.
I am love.
I am love.
I am peace.
I am peace.
In my heart,
In my heart,
I am free.
I am free. I am spirit.
I am soul.
I am soul.
All together,
All together,
we are whole.
we are whole.
Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love.
Of love. Calling in the light. Calling in the light.
Calling in the light of love. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
We are one. We are one. We are one. And so I speak this word of truth with the I am, because we are all one. There is one divine intelligence which is all, and I am a unique expression of that one. I am connected to all other expressions of that one. And I am connected by the force of love and law. I am love and law in perfect manifestation. As such, I express myself, my life, in harmony, in joy, in goodwill, using, acknowledging, and taking responsibility for my gift of intelligence and the ability to create. I am one. And in that oneness comes from me goodness, friendship, goodwill, love. I feel the unity of my own being. I feel the unity and express that unity with every person in this room. I feel and express my oneness with my center. I feel and express my oneness with my community, with my family, with my friends, with my coworkers. I feel and express my oneness with my city, with my country, with my planet. I feel and express my oneness with all. I express in perfect harmony, in joy, in beauty, in peace and power. I express my unity in wisdom. I know this is the truth of my being. I know it is the truth of all being. I have full assuredness that these words are the truth and must manifest in perfect expression. And so it is with thanksgiving, confidence, and joy that we release this treatment now, knowing that it is so. And together we say, and so it is.
beautiful words, but beyond the words are the sentiment. And I really love, and you'll hear later as to why it was so appropriate, the terminology in your treatment. Because in our philosophy and our faith, we believe there are no accidents or mistakes, that everything unfolds in divine order. And oftentimes in life, that's confusing because things happen that at the very human level, we look at and we see it as bad. And it doesn't mean that there aren't things that don't bring forth pain in our life or confusion or even sadness and grief and a lack of clarity. But life shows up on two levels at all times in this philosophy and faith and way of life known as the science of mind. And there's the human level, that level where we touch and we taste and we feel and we connect. And then there's that level which is transcendent of the human level. That's called the divine. It's the absolute, if you will, in 20th century terms of metaphysics. It's that which is unalterable, unchangeable. It is that which simply is, and that we individualize. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment, but I wanted to capture that for us to start prompting us to ask ourselves as we move into this lovely day that we're experiencing, that Arnaé has declared for us and we've agreed to, and as we've now called in the light into our heart and awakened within our being and acknowledge the different flames of faith and the uniqueness that is expressed by each individual on this planet, while at the same time honoring the oneness, the interconnectedness of the very light that we share, then what do we do with all of that? You know, my favorite Ernest Holmes quote is, "Information without application is hallucination." So if we're not using this very information that we have in a way that is propagating its innate nature of good, then what good is it? And so on that note, what we also know is that we have great power. You guys believe that? Yes. We have great power. So in the vein of someone who has unbelievable, unrestrained, boundless, universal love and power, I give to you, singing the power of the people, Miss Arnaé Batson.
No pressure, huh? You can play the game and you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say and just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. And what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can't feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about that squeaky wheel. It's always getting the grease. It's better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. What I'd love for everyone to do is just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better, 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 better. Somebody help me sing this song. I know I'm not the only one who knows this song. Some of you were there when this song was written. You've been singing it a long, 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 long time. Let me feel you shower the people you love with love. Do what? Things are gonna work out fine. If what? Ooh, it sounds so beautiful. Sing it again. Shower. Show them the way. Things are gonna get much better if you only will. Keep singing that. Shower. Oh, my love. My sweet love. My love. My loves. My sweet love. My sweet love. I really wanna see you. I really wanna be with you. Y'all remember that song? I just did a Woodstock event, and some of you all were probably there. My sweet love.
My sweet love,
My sweet Lord.
my sweet love,
My sweet Lord.
sweet love.
I really wanna see you. I really wanna be with you. Come on, y'all. So long, my sweet Lord. My sweet Lord.
My sweet love,
My sweet love. I really wanna know you. Really wanna show you. Yes, come on, Janice. Sing with me. Sing with me, Janice. Janice Anderson is here. Come on. Come on. Shower the people. Shower the people. Shower the people. It's so lovely to shower. It's really lovely to shower. Let it rain. Let it rain, rain, rain. Sunshine, 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 sunshine. Oh! Andy and I said there was going to be a lot of laughter this morning. Andy and I predicted it, so feel free. Thank you, the great Andy Belling.
And Miss Arnaé Batson. You did it, girl.
You know I love you.
You know I love you too.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is, she said many of you were around when that song came out. From my assessment in the room, there's everyone but 4. Maybe 3. Because that song was released in 1976. So, right, there's 1, 2, 3. Anybody else that was not around in 1976? 4, right? The rest of you, I know you were around. Pete, had you come to this earth in 1976? So we're up to 5. Okay, I got 6. Okay, all right. But you referenced Woodstock, and I just watched Woodstock, the documentary, again the other night, and Man, what a time, right? Wouldn't it be great if, and I'm not saying that in that nostalgic point of everybody sitting in a field smoking pot. We can still do that. We just do that legally today, right? But from the perspective of there was a rising up of humanity declaring what was tolerable and what was intolerable at the human level. And I really hope and desire and believe that it's possible that we can do the same today, that we've not moved to a point in our life in the evolution of humanity in the Western world where we have become just so disconnected that we feel like that we have no power of the people. And so today my message is, as it has been the last 2 weeks, is to stimulate within each of us a burning, if you will, and a yearning to make a difference on this planet. And to do that from a perspective of being an awakened being, a spiritually awakened being that feels empowered, that knows that we are empowered to invoke change. If you look at the 3 words up here of evolution, embrace, compassion, what we are called to do to step into our evolutionary nature as conscious beings is to embrace living with compassion. If you take the word passion and break it down in metaphysical terms, it is to pass I on. Well, I what? I the Keith? Well, of course, I'm going to pass I the Keith on, but it's more than I Keith. It's I Keith, the divine being, to pass that on compassionately. In other words, to live from a place that I shed my light, to share my love, to express my being in a way that the change that's being called forth, I'm a conscious participant in that through my mind and my actions and my beliefs and my reactions and my interactions with life. And as a result of that, the evolution that is being called forth to happen consciously is transpiring. I want to begin, that was just like a anyway, I'm going to begin by reading something that one of my beloved soul sisters, a minister by the name of Reverend Linda Findley, posted on social media this week. And I want to use that as the foundation, the jumping off point for how we can choose anew today. And this is what she wrote. And she's the minister of our center in Eugene, Oregon. She wrote, in our faith, we believe God, and remember, it doesn't matter what word you use, is the source and substance of everything that is, so that all of creation and all of life is sacred and deserving our love and care. There is no lesser, nor is there an illegal human. We are all one, just as Elizabeth stated earlier. And what happens to one of us is happening to all of us. By my silence, I accept the mistreatment or diminishment of others as okay. So she writes, so this is me not being silent. Everyone is entitled to be seen as equal and whole, no matter what they are experiencing in the moment. I demand justice for all peoples. I am not made greater by diminishing others. My country is not made greater by diminishing or eliminating others. The fact of the matter is there is no other. There is only God in its creation as creation. In the book, the Bible, in Matthew, it's written, whatever you do to the least of these, you are doing to me. She writes, I support all people's worth and humanity, even when my country, some church, or even friends or family members would deny it. The picture that she posted beneath that was a picture of Mother Earth with arms of what appears to be children, because they're small arms, all intertwined. And if you look at this photograph, the epidermis of the individuals that's holding hands is of a multitude of what we call color. What that speaks to is the we are one nature that Elizabeth addressed in her spiritual mind treatment. It's the people that Arnaé is speaking of when she sings the lyrics to Power the People. It's this awakening that we have in our minds and our soul and our beings at a very deep level that we know that we are one. One of the very foundational components of this philosophy and this faith and this way of life that I attuned to when I came to this teaching in 1982 and love it so much to this day is that we are taught all the time and believe that there's only one thing that exists. There is only one life, there is only one mind, and there is only one power. And it seems to me that in the state of mind that we are at as a country, as a community, as a people today, we seem to have forgotten it. And at least if we haven't forgotten it, we've quit acting as if we know it's true. We're not taking care of our brothers and our sisters, and it's transpiring all around the world today. What is required of us, as it was required during Woodstock and other generations empowering the people, is for us to rise up into a higher state of consciousness, and from that state to then raise our voices, raise our actions, raise our engagement in life. And we do that not only through our thoughts and through our choices and through our prayers, but by giving. But by giving of life to life, acknowledging it, respecting it, honoring it, and standing for it. The title of my message for us today is Giving from the Heart. Giving from the heart. So what does that mean to give from the heart? Well, the heart, as I often say here, is we know this, is the symbol of love. And we're not talking in the context of romantic love. And from the Greeks, it's known as the eros love. We're not talking about that romantic sense. We're not even really talking about the sexual sense. What we're speaking of is love both from the agape perspective, love meaning the love of the divine, the love as the divine, the love acknowledging the divine within each and every one of us, that interconnected space within us. It's what Ernest Holmes refers to as the self-givingness of the Spirit through desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. It is that thing deep within each and every one of us where we know that we're called to give more of it, to honor more of it, to receive more of it, which is transcendent of the human experience. And yet we have the ability to shift the human experience by tapping into that very thing itself. Emerson addresses it as love is just simply a synonym for God. God meaning the thing itself, or source, or life, or Beulah, or Darla, or Jerry. Doesn't matter what it's called. My favorite Ernest Holmes statement of it is that love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. So if we are here to give from that place, to give of that place, to give of that energy, then how do we do that? In preparing for this message today, I was thinking of when do I first remember in my life feeling this deep sense of separateness while at the same time remembering that I remembered deep in my soul of there being oneness. And I was sitting in my great-grandmother's house in Jonesboro, Georgia, and it was some night, and she was making biscuits and fried chickens and all the stuff that goes with that, and God bless her soul for that, right? And the television was on, and I remembered seeing children that had been harmed by bombs in Vietnam. And I remember this resonance field that came over me of like, well, I could know that kid, right? That could happen to me. And so I share that with you because I know not only has that been an experience for me in my life, but it's the same for you. There came a moment of your spiritual awakening where a spark was ignited within you that you know that all sentient beings, all human nature, all human life is interconnected. But that didn't just happen in the Vietnam War. It's happening today, where we have children that are locked in cages at the border. That we have our trans brothers and sisters that were being thrown out of bars in downtown Los Angeles in the last 10 days. That there is injustice that is transpiring right outside our doors. Information without application is hallucination. What he's telling us is that we know that we're all interconnected, That we're not just our brothers and sisters keepers, that we are our brothers and our sisters. That which is happening to the lesser thans in the world is happening to you and it's happening to me. Therefore, as we know that, we must apply the very principles that we have in this teaching, which is spiritual mind treatment, the prayer part, and then we are told to move our feet. In other words, get off our asses and do something about invoking the change that we have called forth from the law of life. That's what he's telling us there. It's not enough to know it. It's not enough to even pray for it. It's not enough to even pray as it. All of that is important, and all of that is required. Because for you and I to stand up to the injustices of the world, we must have strengthened our spiritual and our faith musculature. So we have to do the work so that we can engage in the work that is required. Today, my message is giving from the heart. In other words, aligning that spiritual musculature, that faith musculature in love as we show up to make a difference on this planet. Now, if you recall, over the last 2 weeks, I've spoken of love. And if you weren't here or if you haven't seen it, you can get that on our YouTube channel. Not a plug, just a fact and a plug, all right? And I spoke of both the agape love and the mystical love. And as we're moving into this state of now saying, okay, from the agape love of knowing that I know that there is this power for good in the universe and it does its thing through me and I have the ability to propagate it, that it is the power at very self that is coming through me and its desire is to manifest itself, to propagate itself, to multiply itself, and the only way that it can do that is through me. Well, where through me does that happen? Well, it does that through a portal, if you will. That's a word we use so that we can understand that it moves through our very being. It then takes form through physicality, right? Then from there, we call that the opportunity to engage in mystical love. In other words, leaning into the portal of saying, not only can I use this power, and I am using this power, but how am I going to get the hell out of my own way so that what is transpiring through me is the ultimate of the very thing itself? That's mystical love. We open ourselves up and welcome that. In other words, living in love. And so the acronym that I have for love, as you all know, is lifting one's vibrational energy. Lifting one's vibrational energy. And so if we're here to give from the heart, then the acronym for give is giving increases vibrational energy. Giving of the very thing itself increases the vibrational energy that exists as life and then gives you and I the opportunity to experience as we express the more of the thing itself, because that's the way it works. And so today I want us to awaken ourselves to a new understanding and acceptance of our ability to choose. And what is it are we to choose? To making a greater commitment and a covenant to give. To give more of the very thing that exists within us and all of the facets and qualities of it, which are peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and prosperity, and abundance, and compassion. And I'm going to share even more with you of that. In the book, Giving, the Sacred Art, Creating a Lifestyle of Generosity, that's written by Lauren Taylor Wright, she writes this in regards to this concept. She says, the act of giving is a source of blessing for two parties. A wise Chinese proverb says, a bit of fragrance always clings to the hand that gives roses. It's like my cologne, right? You're still taking it in, aren't you? Right? A wise Chinese proverb says, now think of this in the context of you giving of your financial good, of you giving of your eros love, of you giving of your agape love, of you giving of your mystical love, of you giving of anything in your life that is tangible, that will propagate good for someone else, whether it's money or clothing or food or time or talent. A bit of your giving always clings to the hand that you give from. Our beloved founding minister, Dr. David Walker, used to love to say, you can't give with a clenched fist. Brilliant, right? You can't give with a clenched fist. You have to open your hand to give. And as you open your hand to give, what you do is then open up that field of energy, that chain of energy then, that moves not only out to the beloved before you, but then returns, because we know that in life, the nature of life isn't just to give or to just breathe. As I was talking to Dr. Maureen Hoyt yesterday about this message, she goes, well, you know, honey, you can't just inhale. You have to exhale as well. So that as you exhale in giving, you give yourself the opportunity to not only receive, but you open up that channel of energy that moves up your arm, through your shoulder. And where does it go? To your heart. The heart, the very foundation of the place to give with love. She goes on to write that generosity can give you joy. It can remind you of the purpose of life. It can give you greater connection with the vast expanse of humanity, and it can give you the power to change the world. You, as the giver, have the opportunity to make positive or life-affirming changes in your own life by giving. By giving. I was in a counseling session this week, and in my session, I was speaking to this individual, and we were talking about what was going on in their life. And one of the things that came up for them was that they felt like the good was like stuck in their life. They were in this moment where it was like it was all stuck. Anybody ever felt like that? You know, like the drain was clogged up, if you will, or the intake was clogged up. And I said, so where are you giving? Are you giving of your, and I want you to guys be really clear. I'm not giving you this talk to make you feel guilty about giving money. Do I want you to give money here? Yes. Is that something that's important for you to give money? Yes, it is. Are we in financial straits here? No. Is our Sunday income down? Yes. Would we like for it to be up? Yes. What did we do for that? We tithed last week. We're practicing these principles. But it's more of the context of the totality of us understanding as metaphysical beings that if we truly are on a journey of finding our personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, then part of that spiritual awakening is knowing who we are as spiritual beings and being one with the very thing itself called life. Life, also known as nature, and the nature of nature is to give as it receives. So, as I was saying to this individual, then your responsibility right now is to not hold on to what you have, it's to give. Not foolishly, not stupidly. Don't give everything you have away, but take part of what you have and put it back into the circulation of life. Put it into the circulation of life. Step into the flow of good that exists and have faith that the law does its part. Why? Because it always has, and it always will, because that is its nature. So today I ask you, when I tell you to give from the heart, what can you give in your life in a new way today? Today, not tomorrow. Don't put it off till tomorrow. Step into your good today. Well, you can give of your energy, your time, your talent, your tithe, your money, your resources, meaning your good, your food, your love, your clothing. We all have stuff out there that we don't use, right? I have an entire garage full of it, and a closet full of it, and at one time even a storage unit full of it, right? Release it. Release it and give with love. Rumi tells us that love is the life-giving garden of this world. What he's saying is that when we give from the heart and engage in the self-givingness of spirit whose desire is to create more of itself out of itself, that what we're doing is fertilizing the very garden of life itself. He's telling us that we are here to stay in the flow and to fertilize the very thing that grows, which is good in life. Now, you and I both know that that which we consume of the planet that is of nature, let's say corn or tulips or green beans or whatever that is, right, that it goes into the soil in the form of some type of seed or something that then the life shows up through that in a very mystical, magical way and takes root. And then it emerges through the soil and brings forth beauty for us to participate participate in and consume oftentimes, which then continues the cycle of good being made manifest through us and giving life to us as well. And then at some point it disintegrates. But the very essence of life itself does not. Just the physical expression by means of which that life force has taken form. And what that's telling us is that we are part of that cycle. So to stay in the grandness of that cycle, to stay fertilizing, continue fertilizing the very soil itself so that the good emerges. Give from the heart. And we do that by choosing love. I want to share with you a reading that I use oftentimes at weddings. And it speaks to love. And it's from, again, the book I referenced earlier that's oftentimes called the Bible. And it's from the book Corinthians. And it's this, love. Now let's look at this as love as a synonym for God. Love as a self-givingness of spirit. You've heard the rest of it. Love as a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Not the eros piece, but the collective of the agape and of the mystical and of that awakening of that cosmic force. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It's not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It's not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrong, but rejoices in right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. In a word, 3 things hold true, meaning the word of love: faith, hope, and love. What we're being told here is that this very power itself is not a personal expression. It is impersonal by nature because it is this cosmic force that moves through you and it moves through me. So let's use this verse from the Bible of love from Corinthians as a foundation for our expansion and our engagement and our action in life to propagate love in our world today. Let's use it in a way that it's the foundation for knowing that not only are we called here to give in a new way today as a divine being, but we understand with our intellect that we're doing that because we're not only socially responsible to do it, but because we know that as we do it, we multiply the very thing within us that gives us life. And so it's beneficial on a number of levels. And so let's you and I ask ourselves, where can we show up today to give in a greater way than ever before? Where are we withholding in life? Look at that. Stop it. Open up the channel in a new way and give anew. Because the truth is, yes, you, the human, is here today. Yes, you, the human, is in this room sitting in the chair, but the divine you is also here. The divine you is here, and your divine love is being activated in this very moment. By hearing what I'm saying, speaking spiritual truth, resonating and allowing that to resonate within you as a truth that you know is true, correct? Not because I'm saying it. This isn't Keith the human talking, even though it is. It's the divine speaking to you, and the divine is listening as you. And so the divine love within you is activated in a new way today, and so allow it to be present and then choose to use it. Divine love has no fear whatsoever. So if you as the human do, get over it. And continue to keep stepping into the divine you. Today is the day that we have the opportunity to give from the heart. Nelson Mandela tells us that in Africa there's a concept known as Ubuntu. It's the profound sense that we are human only through the humanity of others. That if we are to accomplish anything in this world, it will in equal measure be due to the work and achievement of others. In other words, we're here to support our brothers and to support our sisters as they grow through life itself. That not only are we to know for ourselves that the divine within us is activated, but as we activate the divine within us, our very vibrational frequency itself activates that within others. There's a place within us, as Ernest Holmes tells us, in which there's a place in us which lies open to the infinite, but when the Spirit brings its gift by pouring itself through us, it can only give us what we can take. And so if we know that how we use the very thing within us that gives us life and we choose to not take it, then we are cheating our brothers and sisters of the opportunity for them to be awakened to it themselves. If they are awakened by means of what we emanate, and we know that as we open ourselves to that emanation in a new way, we're then sending it back out, then we know that we must open ourselves to our divinity and to release it in a new way. He writes that the pent-up energy of life and the possibility of further human evolution will work through humans, their imagination, and their will, and the time is now. It's now. So I ask you today, are you ready to give anew? Are you ready to give anew? Are you ready to awaken yourself to that time in life which is today, where human nature is calling us to wake the hell up? To wake the hell up and do something. There's a song that always reminds me of what I've been called here to do. And I not only have heard it numerous times and it touches my heart, but of the time I spent in Africa doing the work I did, it was never a surprise on me that we would be in the wildest, most remote locations and we would hear this song. And it was always a reminder that God was saying to me, keep doing the work, dude. Keep doing it. And I'm going to give you a bit of the lyrics right now as a call to you to step up in a greater way today. And it's this, and you may know these lyrics. There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, and it's time to lend a hand, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone, somewhere soon make a change. We're all part of God's great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. For we are the world, we are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day. Just you and me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I present to you again Arnaé and Andy.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones that make a better day, so just keep giving. It's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. You and me. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me down. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Put your hands together. I think I can make it now. The pain has gone. All of the dark clouds have disappeared. Oh, gone is that heartache that had me down. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. I know it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Oh, look all around. There's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead. Nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I've showered all the people with love, and all the obstacles are not in my way. Gone are those dark clouds that held me down. I know it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yes, it's gonna be a sunshiny day. Yes, it already is such a bright, sunshiny day. Andy Belling.
The one, the only Arnaé Batson. It's gonna be a bright.
We are the world.
Baby.
Next time we'll do that. I love that song.
I know you love that song. I love that song too. You know, this is one of the few artists that, and Andy will attest this, when he sings like, "What do you want her to sing Sunday?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't trust her. I trust her," because I know she's tuned. You're tuned in. You know, tuned into the divine flow. It's the whole day has been synchronous. I'm a little high from the talk. You just got to know that. So, right. So, sorry. It's true.